Good evening, people. Welcome to the Red Zone. If you've got the snooker on, turn the volume down, put our volume up. You'll get a few miscues and a few stuns from Awi. You'll get a few screwbacks from Gene in terms of, in his opinion, on Darwin and Liverpool winning the league. And you'll get a bit of spin, endo spin from Sarib as well. But welcome to the show. We're on, I think this is our fourth show in a row on at night. Is that right, guys?
If you can classify yesterday as a show, then fair enough. But
Yeah,
How are you,
excuse me.
fellas? No, did we play Tuesday or Wednesday?
I think we did. I think we did Thursday.
We did Wednesday. No, we done Wednesday. I done Thursday, Friday. Friday? No. Friday was Avi and Gina. Then yesterday we went. Asim, these two bailed on us, and then today we're all here.
They're not interested in the long haul.
They're not interested in the hard work and the graft.
They're not interested.
Asim, we won't reveal what you said afterwards about the show last night. But anyway, I heard the term slog was mentioned.
It is a slog. I don't have no qualms about discussing.
You had your next door neighbors joining the show. You had your
slog.
next door neighbors. You had your next door neighbors joining the show.
It's a slog. It's a slog. Even you got tired of it, Avi. But let's not go there. But anyway, are you into snooker? Any one of you guys? I've seen Gene play snooker. Well, if you call that snooker, bloody hell.
I would always have to use what's the spider on every shot. I don't have to use the spider because I'm so short. But no, snooker's
the rest.
And I used to watch a lot of Nigel Bond, Stephen Henry, Steve Davis, John Parrott.
Nigel.
I know my snooker. Don't worry about that, lad. I know my snooker.
Nigel Bond. Do you fancy
Dennis Taylor in '86, mate? Dennis Taylor in '86.
Yes, he's right there, mate. Go on, Avi, man.
Yeah, I know my stuff.
You're as tall as Dennis Taylor. I'll give you that. But fancy next time you're in the UK, Avi, we'll have a doubles game. What do you say?
I told you, I've got to use the spider. That little cross.
I will pick
Every time. I'll need one of the yellow pages, but I need the yellow pages book to ready to get around the table. Pool, I'm not bad. That snooker.
As you guys can tell, we probably by now we don't have anything to talk about. We ran out of content, but this is why today is all about you. Normally, this is our staple show. We're discussing the game in depth. And we're looking ahead to bloody hell. I thought those two sute going into your mouth. I thought we're not that desperate for content. We'll think of something. But yeah, look, I know we had a call-in show, but please engage with the sort of chat today. Ask away anything you want, whether it's Liverpool related, Premier League related, or even world football. This is your opportunity to get at the guys. We've already got a healthy number of people in the chat. Like and subscribe away, do all that good stuff. And let's see where the next hour takes us. It takes us a million places, but I don't know. There was a few questions I starred straight away. David, I think this is the same David that came into the chat yesterday. If it is, I do apologize, David. We had to wrap up, and I think I had to chuck you out of the studio. So apologies for that. It's because we had run out of time. But
because he had every family member that he knows on the show last night. That's the problem that Asim had. He didn't want to put anyone else in. The only guy I saw was Jamie Phillips, man. He didn't give anyone a chance. It was like a family reunion for Asim last night. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry and the kitchen sink from Keithley was on last night. Let me tell you.
It's a good job for no one else in backstage. But David says, unpopular opinion, I don't want Mbappe. He's not a Liverpool player. In terms of profile, you'll take Mbappe all day, but you can see what he's getting at, David. Who wants to take the first question of the night?
I've got to disagree. Look, when a talent like that is available, and look, if financially we could make it happen, why wouldn't Klopp want a player like Mbappe? Yes, he can throw his toys out of the pram from time to time. You know, he's learned that sort of shitness from sort of Neymar, maybe, you know, playing together with him. And he has that arrogance about him and ego. But you got to remember as well, he has a lot to contend with us. And he's France's poster boy. You know, what happened in the World Cup final, you know, single-handedly nearly got them the glory yet again, you know. He's had the spotlight on him since 15 years old, since Monaco, you know, Monaco to PSG. He's always had that pressure. So no, I think if someone who could keep him grounded from this crucial age now, from 24 up until 30, 31, where he's going to be entering his peak years, it would be someone like Jurgen Klopp, because who knows who'll be in charge in Real Madrid tomorrow. Yes, Ancelotti's been there for 2-3 years, but usually that's the cycle, isn't it? Every 2-3 years they switch. So no, I would take Mbappe all day long if ever there was a deal possible.
Gene, David says he's not a Liverpool player. I repeat, in terms of talent, there's probably not been many better than Mbappe last 15, 20 years, but he's always involved in some drama, isn't he? He's always on the front, back pages and the front pages in terms of sort of this politics going on between PSG, himself, his camp. I think in the last window, it took some government official from France to ring him up, and they got really
Emmanuel Macron.
There you go. So is he a Liverpool player in terms of, like, he's hit the heights of football? He's the best player in the world, arguably. Do we buy the best player in the world?
Generally, Asim, we don't. We've always go for the players that are more or less upcoming and are about to hit the world sort of stage. But there's some players that are. Sorry, my little one's going a bit nutty around in the back. Yeah, there's some players that you just, they come once in a blue moon, and Mbappe's one of them. I'm sorry, but I would walk any player out of Liverpool if it meant Mbappe come, and that's just the way it is, because he will be in the top of world football for the next 10 years. And yes, there's issues with PSG. We all know that. And yes, there is camaraderie and that comes alongside him. But if you talk about the fee and the wages, they're astronomical, and I just simply can't see that we would pay somebody approximately 700 to 800 grand a week minimum. That's probably after tax, knowing how big.
$1 million a week.
Yeah, after tax, that's probably
$1 million a week.
That's what he's going to want.
I mean, is your charger going to pay that?
Certainly not. Yeah, well, that's the figures that are being bandied about, isn't it? Like,
we'd make the money back though, wouldn't we? Because he's a global phenomenon, man. Imagine the amount of shirt skills
you do, but then what precedent does that set for? Look, you don't want a situation at United where you've brought the Maguires, the Shaws, you've given Rashford's 350 a week, you've given Sancho 350 a week. I mean, they're still going to be paying up to 150 for Sancho a week while he's on loan at Dortmund. You don't want to set a precedent there. Look, Mbappe is a great talent. For him, if he's going to get that money and he gets that chance to play for Real Madrid, that's his probably dream. If he wants to sort of play for a crowd, play for a fan, play for a club, play for a manager that's going to get the best out of him in these next few years for his peak, then you would choose Liverpool. But in the modern game now, we know with youngsters, you just got to look at the Saudi game. Look, Gabriel Viega, it's a prime example, 19 years old, a huge talent coming out of Spain. He's playing out in Saudi. And look, it's money, and you can't question that either. If it's money that you want to go for, and listen, the game of football, it's a very short game. It's a 10 to 15-year cycle. Yeah, 15 years at most if you can maximize your talent. You make the most, you make as much money as you can. It's a profession at the end of the day.
Here's a question for you, Sarib. Thank you very much, Sarib. Mbappe in, Salah leaves. You guys take that personally? Absolutely. Keep the questions coming in today, guys. It's all about questions, your questions, our answers today. Sarib?
So you looked at me right now and decided to give me the hardest question there when you could have given this to Avi or Chine.
I was going on the table.
It's not a hard question at all. It's not a hard question.
Going on the table.
Of course it's hard. What do you mean it's hard? It's harder than you think.
It's not a hard question.
I don't even want to answer the question.
Well, try harder then.
Okay, look. If I'm thinking on a completely unbiased perspective, looking at age, what he can give us over the next 10 years.
You guys at the airport, basically.
I'm going to take Kylian Mbappe and let Mo Salah go just because of his age. But it's hard to just forget what he's done for Liverpool, Salah. It's so hard to just forget. He was the guy that took us to the league title. He was the guy that took us to the Champions League. He's the guy that sustained us under Jurgen Klopp. I don't know. I don't want to.
If you're only getting one more year out of Salah and you've potentially got 4 or 5 years, for the next 4 or 5 years, you've got Kylian Mbappe, it's a foregone conclusion. You don't think about it as much as you're doing, Sarib. You take Mbappe. Come on. It's not a hard question. If it was Salah at 24, 25, then I could say, okay, you know what? Yes, let's think about this.
It's the love affair that we have. It's the love affair, the relationship, the sentiment.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, look, listen, everything comes to an end, yeah? Love hurts sometimes, okay? Love hurts sometimes, Asim,
Yeah,
whether
but
you
you
like
said
it or not.
imagine Mbappe gives us 2-3 years and then he's off to Madrid. Then what? Then what was the
Yeah,
point?
he'll give us 250 million on top of that. If he gave us 2 or 3 years, he'd give us
He
that.
gives us two. He gives us 3 years, Sarib. That's 2 league titles out of 3,
How do you know?
and
Salah
that's
and
probably a
Mbappe.
Champions League as well.
Okay,
You're
how do you
right,
know? Because
Kylian
goal
Mbappe
scoring is not a problem. The goal scoring is not the problem.
Oh, he's a phenomenon. He's an absolute phenomenon. He snuffs out chances out of nowhere.
Should have
He's a
changed the question.
killer. He's an ice cold killer, Mbappe. He can go from
Salah
the
not.
left, the right, or play central. He's
Salah not.
everything.
Is Salah not?
But Salah's not going to give you 4 or 5 years now, is he? Really at the top level?
If I
He is
be
slowing down, even though he's having an amazing season. You could see slightly now there is a little bit of a drop off, whether we like it or not. It's true.
yeah, his stats
And
are
he'll
better.
still bag 30. He will still bag 30. But right now, if you're giving me an Mbappe at 24 who will only get better, or a Salah at 31 who's only going to be declining ever so slightly, you're taking Mbappe. Come on, Sarib.
Oh,
Think
100%.
a little bit.
Okay.
And by the way, Sarib, Salah's my number one. He's over Gerrard. He's my
Mine as
favorite
well.
ever Liverpool player. And that's me telling you that I'll take Mbappe.
I
Fair
like
enough.
that. I like that. I think that Avi takes that.
Listen, big up
Um,
Awan yesterday, Mr. Awan, who came on the show yesterday. Just want to put my hand
Oh,
up.
is that the Ivan
Salute
family?
Marna. No, the One family. So salute Marna. So yeah, big up Awan.
Yeah, that was a great call, by the way, Ivan. Thank you very much for that. I think the questions, guys, they're gonna go from pillar to post. They'll go all over. So we'll just that is what it is tonight. So next one I picked out. Why does Gravenberg look lethargic and disinterested when tracking back or when in a 50-50? Do you think it's a mentality issue or is it fatigue thing? Hope we get the Gravenberg from Ajax. Who wants to take that one?
Why didn't you take that yourself? Take that for yourself. You're asking the
this guy.
questions. You answer them as well, innit? So go and answer one of the questions as well.
Yeah, but can you say it nicely?
Can you answer the question, please?
What
Yeah,
are you
that's
doing, man? I'm going to spill tea all over him because of you two.
He's asking the
No,
questions and he's saying, yeah, who wants to take that one? You take one. You take one for God's sake.
It's a no-win situation. If I take one too many, you'll start barking again.
No. You take one, God. I'm gonna help you out here. I'm gonna help you out here. God. I'm gonna help you out here.
Oh, thank you. I don't think he's disinterested. You got that a bit of sort of language style with Pogba, didn't you? I don't think it's fatigue, even though he didn't play many minutes last
Torres
season.
had that though, Asim.
Yeah.
That lackadaisical style, but then all of a sudden he'd strike fire. But what do
I
you
think
think it is?
I think whoever says, "Oh, he's lazy," because I've seen a few tweets and a few people messaging on the WhatsApp groups as well. I think that's you're paying some disrespect towards Klopp and his coaching staff. Do you think they will stand in there on a weekly basis, accept laziness, from a player in a Liverpool side, who the first thing that you want is to roll their sleeves up? A Jurgen Klopp side built on energy, built on sort of high octane, high pressing. But look, some profiles mean that look, you're not going to get a Curtis Jones type of counter pressing, a Szoboszlai, just to use a few examples from the current squad. He's not going to be that, but you have to sort of understand is some people take a bit of time to bring that into their game. Curtis Jones, took a bit of time to bring that counter press from when you moved away from the 11 position to the number 8 position. Szoboszlai, we thought he can't play a box to box role, but because he was so comfortable in the first phase of in the build up, then we were comfortable with him going in deeper areas, which allowed sometimes Trent to stay high and wide. But bringing that, it takes time on the field. But he's a half-term player, half-term player, sort of on the outside of the opposition's box. But in terms of throwing that sort of label at him, disinterested, fatigue, maybe he cannot handle the intensity of the Premiership at the moment. I think that's fair because he's come from Bayern Munich. He didn't get many minutes. How many games did you play, Avi? Not many.
I think he played all in all. I think he played like 27 or 31 times, but there was a lot coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Change of managers, Nagelsmann to Tuchel. Listen, it's a mental block as well. These kids, they need nurturing up here as well. It's just not about the talent. He's got all the talent in the world, but he's got to combine that with his mentality as well. He's played for Ajax, a massive club. He was seen as this superstar kid at 17, 18. We played against him in the Champions League. Goes to Bayern Munich, a huge move. Renato Sanchez, similar. Benfica to Bayern Munich. It didn't work out for him. Matthias de Ligt, it didn't work out for him at Bayern. He did go to Bayern, right? Or did he go to Juventus?
Juve.
Juventus. Is he Bayern now, though? He went buying out. You know, he's not getting much game time. You know, so it is a psychological as well. And I think at Liverpool right now, like Asim saying, give him time. He'll combine all these things together.
Yeah, I think LD's got the wrong at the end of the stick. He says Naby Keita was our player for 5 years, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, Asim? I was
Go
talking
on,
about,
give it to him. Go on,
I
this.
was talking
Give
about
it to him.
Naby's counter press. When you talk about his laziness, because the question stated that he doesn't come back. So even Naby, when he was on the pitch, when his muscles allowed him, one of his best traits was counter pressing.
Look at Salah. Where was Salah at 21-22? He couldn't even get into the Chelsea team.
There you go.
Goes back to Fiorentina on loan, has a great spell, joins Roma because he likes the Italian league so much, does 2 years there, season there, and comes back to Liverpool, a different player. Gravenberch is 21. Curtis Jones 2-3 years ago. 2 out of the 4 out of the panelists wanted him gone. One of the panelists weren't even born when Curtis Jones came into this first team at Liverpool. So, like, you know, you've got to give these guys time. Anyone who's writing off Ryan Gravenberch, write him off at your own peril.
But what I would say, Avi, is when he came, because I think we'd signed McAllister by then, we'd signed Szoboszlai by then, and we signed Endo third, and then Gravenberch, wasn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, Endo was third. No, Gravenberch was third, wasn't he? Endo was the last one.
I think Endo was third. Endo was third, and then we bought Gravenberch. But whatever it was, I think there's some people that wanted Gravenberch in the number 6 because he's 6 foot, 2, 6'3", and he, in terms of profile, in terms of physique, he's got the attributes, but he doesn't have the discipline. Maybe in a double pivot, someone more disciplined next to him, that's fine. But I think he's a half-term player, and sometimes you cannot just judge it by what you see on a TV. What I mean by that is when Trent played right back and people said he can't defend, he's a lazy fucker, he don't come back and this and that. But everyone shut up the moment that, I think Linda's or Klopp, sort of explaining the fact that we want Trent to stay outside the box, because when we do win the possession in transition, we want that first pass from Van Dijk or the defender to go to Trent and then Trent into midfield. So sometimes it might be a manager's instruction to keep Gravenberch higher in that position, and on the underside you've got a bit more of a box-to-box role than Szoboszlai. This is why I think you probably can only have one Szoboszlai or Gravenberch playing, because the Curtis Jones provides the ball retention, the balance, and then Gravenberch can, if he's playing on the right hand side, even though obviously we've talked about the imbalance if he plays there, but at least he can express himself a bit more. But it'll come once we control games better. He'll play, and in second half against who do we play that? Fulham. He was a bit higher. And I think he had that effort in the second half where he put it back onto his right foot and then just went past the post. Yeah. Those are the sort of the areas that we want him, because he's got the ability to stand someone up at the edge of the box and play a 1-2. If you see Gravenberch's compilations, a lot of them are like just edge of the box, 20, 25 yards, play a quick 1-2 and, pop off a shot. So we just need to create the right environment and the right conditions for him. And it's early days. We must be patient. And if I'm going to be patient, if it's a reminder to anybody about being patient, then, I'm talking about myself, because I thought, Curtis Jones is not going to be good enough for Liverpool. And look at him now, one of the biggest mainstays in the team. So, yeah, patience, I think, is the way to describe Ryan Gravenberch's position.
Just touching on the subject of players getting some time. We've got another comment here, and all of you can take this one. We've got LD says, we don't have time to wait. Nunes, Gravenberch, Diaz, and people like them. We need to win this league this year. 1 Premier League title in 8 years is not good enough. What did you guys make of that? Because I don't think anyone thought, actually, most of us, some of us did, thought that Liverpool would be anywhere near title race this season. Not me, anyway. I didn't think Liverpool would be winning the league. And I think the most of the Liverpool fans that we know and the fan base in general had a consensus that we're not going to be in a title race. So what do you guys make of that comment?
Well, I've just taken mine.
There's certain players that come in that you need to hit that you need somebody to come and hit the ground running straight away. Players like Gravenberch, we've got enough quality in that left-sided midfield that if you want to give somebody time, it's fine. He's 21. We all knew he's come from Bayern Munich. He didn't play all year. So he's going to need some bedding in time. So with him, I have no real issues with. In terms of Darwin Núñez, look, we've been and had this conversation before. He's been here a year. I want more from my number 9 in terms of his goal-scoring attributes, in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net. But does he give us everything else? Like Asim says, he improves our side so much more when he's actually on the pitch. And yes, I want to win the title as well. And what's his name again? I forgot his name.
Eldest.
I want to win this title as well. That's why I've been the one that's been advocating that I need Darwin to start banging, and I get it because when in a title race, when in a proper title race, the 2 points clear at the top, and we haven't got time to be faffing about waiting for people to see if they're good enough or not. I get it, but the truth of the matter is we are sort of a year ahead of schedule in terms of where we were last year and where we are right now, because at the start of the season, I'll be honest with you, a decent run, top 4 guaranteed, a decent run in one of the cups, maybe a cup, I would have taken that, and hopefully it would have been a stepping stone for to carry on. But right now, we're in a title race, and we don't want to be patient, and I get it, because I agree with you to an extent, because I want to win the title as well. Everybody, I think every Liverpool fan here wants to win a title, but you have to show and you have to understand where we are as a football club. But Gavin Birch will come good. Darwin Núñez, he's been here 18 months and he's shown that, he has all the attributes. It's just that final piece, which is probably the most important piece, of putting the ball in the back of the net, that he's lacking. If you look at it, and I've been the one that's been going to town on him more than anyone, he's the one, if you look at, he's at the bar more than anyone. In terms of saves, it's always him. He's just been a bit unlucky. It will come. We just hope and pray that it comes now in the next, let's say, 6 months till the end of the season. And by then, hopefully, we'll have something to show for it.
Avi, the saying, sabr karo. Sabr karo.
No, it is patience. I get the frustration. One year title in 8 years, right? I mean, I honestly, at one point, I never thought that I would see a title in my lifetime. That's just the way luck was. But look, on another day, on another sort of lifetime, we could easily be sitting here talking about 3 European Cups, 3 league titles. That's just the nature of the game. We've come unstuck against Real Madrid twice in 2 finals. A bit of luck there. That doesn't go our way. Man City, when you're dealing with a financial juggernaut, a financial institution like they are, you're competing, you're making ends meet, and the way we don't operate, unfortunately, with the riches that Man City have or a Man United have, where they can lavishly just spend. But even Man City, they've had to nip it in the bud in the last 2 seasons. They're complying with FFP rules. They're selling and they're buying whatever comes in. They're spending as much as much as the money comes in. So they are complying now. But I do get that frustration from Eldest that, look, 1 title in 8 years ain't good enough. But look, we've come close, extremely close, and I'm sure Klopp's 3-4 years or however long he's here, we'll be talking about another league title for sure. And look, this season, we're there now. People talk about transition. I hate that word because Liverpool Football Club should never be in transition, regardless of how many midfielders we've brought. We're top of the league, 2 points clear of Man City. It's ours to lose. Simple as that. It is ours to lose, even at the halfway stage.
You guys have been starting the questions. There's another one from Eldies. Who are our targets for centre back this summer? Avi, do you want to go first on this one?
Well, Asim, I'm going to direct this to you again, because you, on the other day on Friday show, when me and Gene were with Moby, you put a name, Mohamed Simakian of Leipzig, a central defender, very highly rated. It wouldn't shock me if we did go back to Leipzig after Konate's purchase of one of their defenders. But was there anything in that, or just the name that you've liked and you've done a bit of research on?
Yeah, just I think Wiki's been mentioning him a few times. Checked him out, a few compilations. Seems a big, strong lad. Comfortable in the ball, driving forward. Comfortable in both flanks as well. And he's that. I think in terms of who we go for, I think Moby mentioned on the Friday night show that it is probably one that we probably can't go for now because of the relationship with the Red Bull clubs and what happened with Fabio's deal. So I don't know, maybe it was just a bit of a fantasy, but I think Matip's going to be given the way Klopp is. I think he's going to be given a contract. What type of contract, I couldn't tell you, but I think it'll be a new contract, but really low wages. Probably a type of contract that doesn't impact us buying someone or sort of impact our number one target. And then I had a bit of a discussion on Twitter today saying, look, I want Liverpool to buy a left-sided centre back because I think we don't have the balance right, because Shimikas and Robertson are too similar. They both fullbacks slash wingbacks rather than fullbacks slash left-sided centre backs. And if we're going to continue with this system, I think we're all in with this system. It's working, even though some people don't like it. We need some balance. And I don't want that extra tax on Gomez. If Gomez is going to be a cover choice at centre back, if he's going to be still a second choice at right back, is he going to be a second slash third choice at left back? I think that's a bit too much tax on Joe Gomez, especially when you think about Trent does pick up, historically at least one semi-big injury per season. Normally it's hamstring or some muscle injury. He's out for at least 4 or 5 weeks, every season. So Joe Gomez is going to play, and then especially with Ibu, Kwanzaa, Izzy. I know you really like him, and we all do as well, Avi. But Kwanzaa, is he shoo-in for second slash third choice centre back next season? Is it probably 1 year early? All these questions are up in the air, but I think I'm intrigued where Liverpool go in terms of their investment, because I think, rather than, I mentioned this the other day, where Liverpool have done their transfer policy in blocks, where they've gone for the attack, gone for the midfield, gone for the thingy. This season, I think it might be one each in all areas.
Yeah, names that have just been mentioned. I know people on the chat, I think Ash has mentioned it as well. Lenny Yoro, highly rated kid, playing out in France, 17 years old. 17 though. So we're looking, and for a centre back, that's very, very young to break into the first team. My personal choice would be Jarell Hato of Ajax. Very comfortable playing as a left centre back, and as a 6. He's got so much athleticism. I'm a big fan of him. But Lenny Yoro as well. I think those two kids, not sure what the transfer fees are. They'll be absolutely huge. I know Euro people are already talking about 60 to 70 million euros already for a 17-year-old. And Jarell Hato, I think there's a deal that can be done there for 35, 40. But I think we might need to go for someone experienced, because Kwanzaa's only 2021. Konate is still 24, 25. Van Dijk is going to be 33, if I'm not mistaken, in July. Matip, that gives you 4. But yeah, maybe you can get away with buying someone inexperienced through. We have got a very talented kid in the academy, Lee Jonas, who was expected to break into sort of like the first team. Maybe we've got an opportunity or two this season. He's got the same sort of ceiling as Jarell Kwanzaa, but he's had a very bad injury. I think it was his ACL, so he's missing most part of this season. Hopefully he recovers, and next year we could take another look at him, or he might just go out on loan.
Yes, so if I had a choice, and there's some brilliant names: Silva, Todibo, you mentioned Euro.
Bastoni, man, you gotta go and get Bastoni. If you really want a proper player to play in that position, you go and spend the money, Asim. If you
know why Bastoni doesn't do it for me, Gene? Because when you play that position,
it's going to cost 50, 60 million. Just go and get Bastoni. Fits every single card for me, man.
Why I don't? I'll tell you who I choose over Bastoni. In a back 3 or a back 5, I think Bastoni works better. The way we play our system, that defender needs to be on the other side of Ibu Konate, on the left hand side. I'd go for Theo Hernandez.
Ooh, he scored a cracker today for Milan, by the way.
I think he's
technically superb. 2-1.
Theo Vicky's been going on about Theo Hernandez for the past 6 months. Go and buy Theo Hernandez. And yeah, look, he's a brilliant footballer from what we've seen and what I've seen. But Asim, if I want somebody in the defense, because for me, when I see Robbo play, yes, every single time I've seen Bastoni play, the guy's been brilliant. And for me, on that left-sided centre back, I believe he's good because his on the ball skills are unbelievable. He's good. He's got an amazing ping on him, and he's so comfortable on the ball as well. So for me, I mean, we probably want to shore up the defense more than somebody going forward. If I'm going to keep Trent in the inverted sort of role, and the way we're playing, because I can't see Trent moving. I still want to see Trent playing right back, because I don't want him to come into the midfield. So I just want to see a player who's good enough on the ball, and Bastoni fits the ball. Man.
The reason why
he's worth a lot of money. Alphonso Davies, man, you'd pay the money for him, but
in Madrid, he's Madrid bound.
We know with Alphonso Davies, I think he's like a Robertson type of fullback.
Yeah,
up and down.
He's not in a 3.
Yeah,
he's definitely in a 4. But again,
I have concerns with Alphonso Davies in the build-up.
Yeah,
I,
you're
I,
probably
I,
right. I can accept that.
I have concerns in the first phase. I think Tuchel last year realized this and then just sent him up and start on the halfway line. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah,
Unbelievable recovery pace, unbelievable energy. But then I want someone who's comfortable in all phases. I just want someone.
But that's very hard though. As in modern day football, like Trent, he has his frailties in defense, but
Yeah, of course.
going forward, you take that risk, you take that
Fernandez,
chance. Theo Hernandez is the same. Going forward, a joy to watch.
man, he's good
But
enough.
back, Bale had the same. Bale started off as a left back, great going forward, and then Harry Redknapp said, "Nah, you can't play left back. I've got to put you further forward." And we saw that hat trick against Inter Milan, that infamous hat trick at the San Siro. But
Mm.
it's very hard to get like Grimaldo, Alex Grimaldo, great going forward for Bayer Leverkusen. Defensively, he has frailties. Frimpong, great player going forward, absolutely great. Best two fullbacks in Europe right now. But again, defensively, they're not great. Recovery speed is what covers their ass. That's that at the end of the day. That's what they have. They've got great recovery pace.
Sleepy says our DM or Trent drops into a make it into the defense. I think it means into make it a 3, but that's not always the case. We only do that when the press of the opposition is really aggressive, and then Trent or Hendo starts splitting the centre backs. But ideally, you want that Henderson. There's a player that might come back anyway. We won't go there. They won't always do it, but there's some cracking questions today. You guys have been. Would you take? Oh, there's another one. Would you take Solanke back at Liverpool? Wasn't he linked to Newcastle recently?
He was. I think he's been linked to the Arsenal as well. In recent days. He was always a talented. I'll take this. I thought he was always a talented kid, even at Chelsea. Goes to Vitesse Arnhem, has a great loan in the Dutch league, comes back. We get him on a free tribunal. Didn't work out. It was hard because we had Salah, Mane, Bobby, Coutinho for that first 6 months. Danny Ings as well, who was coming back from injury. Solanke's a talented kid, but he's 25, 26 now. I think that ship has sailed in terms of Liverpool, but I think he'll definitely get a bigger move than where he is at now at Bournemouth.
How much is Solanke the market now, Gene?
Solanke,
40.
Minimum 40, Avi, man, for a striker nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's scoring sort of goals in the Prem with him being English. I think so, and we've sort of seen the fees that some of these clubs have been paying for certain players. I think somebody would take a punt on him around 40, 50. I reckon 50 million he'll get for him.
All I will say is do not be surprised if Arsenal enter the fray for him this summer.
Solanke.
Yeah, if Tony deal get done,
I think they're going Tony.
Would you drop 100 million for Tony though?
I think they will.
No, I think they get.
Forget what they will. Would you drop 100 million on Tony? I wouldn't.
I think they're getting for 70, 80 in the summer.
I think that's way too much. I think he's a good player. I think again he's
a inflated market, isn't it? Who is actually worth?
And how old is Tony? I'm sure Tony is not a young buck. He's what, 27?
26, 27. I mean, if Solanke is going to be 40 million, then Tony's surely going to be 60, 70.
But what's Tony's? I was about to say Tony's contract. I think Sulman Hussein. I can't bring up comments. Asim, you might have to do the comments today. Sulman Hussein does say Tony in summer when he has 12 months left.
Oh, wow, they're probably getting for 60 then.
But can someone confirm his age, Sulman? If you can do us a favor and confirm Tony's age, I'm sure he's not a young buck.
He'll know his age because he's a bloody hardcore Arsenal fan. That's what he is.
He's okay. Well, if you think about it, Arsenal is the right move because look, Nketiah, he's not going to get you 25. Jesus, we know he's going to be your 10 to 15 a season. Works hard. They need a poacher, man. But they've needed a poacher a long, long time ago. So maybe Tony. But I think Solanke, he'll surprise a few.
Do you think Tony is Champions League level?
I'll let Gene know.
Sorry, no, I'm not gonna. From what I've seen of Tony last season, I thought he was brilliant. Is he that level? Look, we'll have to wait and see. But look, any striker that plays for Arsenal as a 9, I think he'll bag. And I think even if he was leading the line for Arsenal, I think he'd score goals. Even
he's 28 in March, dropping 80 mil on him.
I mean,
untested at the very, very top, and he was a Newcastle boy, if I'm not mistaken. Originally a Newcastle boy.
I mean, he won't cost 80 million if he's got 12 months on his contract in the summer.
They'll still get a good fee for him. So say 70 then.
60.
These British teams dig in, man. They dig in. They'll get 60.
What if he goes in Jan?
No, didn't he say he wants to stay loyal to Brentford because they backed him with all the palaver
The
that went
gambling
on?
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I won't bet on that. Pardon the fun. Sarib, can you stop texting your buddy and get involved in the chat, please?
I don't have a buddy. I don't have a buddy, man.
Oh, okay.
He's
okay.
single. So all those guys in the, all those men in the chat, Sarib is single.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to the next question. Here's a good one. Suleiman Ali. When Alisson goes, who would you want as a replacement goalie? Sarib, you can take that.
Camille Grabara. Joking. Well, I
Is
don't
he-
even want to. I don't even want to. You know, he's gone. Have you gone?
No, he's been he's sold. He's still not unknown, is he? He's been sold now.
Genk, is he at Genk? Gent. One of the clubs in Belgium. I think he's at the one. Yeah, Genk. I think it is. They played well against United. Who did United have in their group?
Oh, he's asking you a question. You don't need to tell us the live story about Grabara now. Hurry up, Jaldi kar, idiot.
Sorry. Who'd I wrote one? Who'd I wrote?
First striker of the night.
Alisson.
Huh?
I don't know. You know, I don't know because I don't think there's that many good keepers out there anyway to get. I think the names that will probably be thrown out Kobo by the time that Alisson leaves Liverpool will be very, very old. Yeah, no, I said I corrected myself, Ali.
Onana, this Onana kid looks promising from United.
Magnon from Milan.
Can I put a name out?
Of course, Savi.
If Peter Luger in 2 years' time isn't ready and we think no, he's not going to make it, I would go for James Trafford of Burnley.
James Trafford.
Of
Yeah,
Burnley. I
Zaid.
think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just said it as well now. James
He-
Trafford is my number. Thank you, sir.
You think so?
Have a good
Patty
one.
Luger makes some cracking saves every time I watch these inside trainings. I think I get happy. Well, I don't get happy. I get shocked if it's Adrian or Kelleher. But all these blinding saves, most of them, if it's not Alisson, they come from the kid Patty Luger.
I think Trafford's a good keeper. Young as well, 21 years old.
Yeah,
You say James Trafford.
Black's older than Alisson, yeah. Who's Nkumbu Maptembu, man? He's older than bloody what's his name? Gihana Miss. He's older than Alisson. Won't be
Yeah.
Oblak now, will it?
No, but there's not.
But listen,
there's no-
listen. Alisson plays till 35 comfortably. There's no issue there. He's got another 4 years in him.
Yeah.
At the top.
Sully goes take Ramsdale for 50. Oh bloody hell. Okay, TK, but there's not one really sticking out at the moment, is there? Would you agree? Savi?
Trafford sticks out. No, Trafford sticks
agree
out.
with
I've not seen a lot of him.
I don't agree with James Trafford. I don't agree with that, Avi. Why would I want to go get Man City's reject players to go and try win the league over Man City? It doesn't make any sense to me. There's a reason why Man City let him go. He's not good enough. Simple as that. So and we're trying to get to their level.
You can't say
Of course I
that.
can.
Of
He's 21 years old. Sarib.
Chelsea let
Goalkeepers
KDB go.
mature after 25.
Chelsea
What
let
are you talking
KDB
about
go.
now?
Chelsea let Salah go.
That's Jose Mourinho. Just Jose Mourinho.
It doesn't matter who it was.
It's not the point. Look at Gabriel Jesus at Arsenal. Why did Man City let him go? Why?
Jesus
not
has
good
been
enough.
all right.
That's
Jesus-
why Arsenal-
Ireland, man. They just signed Ireland. They didn't need him.
That's why Arsenal didn't win the league. They're trying to compete with Man City by signing their second string players. I don't want that.
You're saying that James Trafford at 21 isn't good enough because Man City let him go. That's such a pathetic response. That's such a pathetic statement to make. It is. No, it actually is.
It's not-
So players can't get better then, no?
they can get better, but
They can't have a renaissance and say, yeah, look, I'm ready now. Goalkeepers,
He's not better than what they
Cole
have.
Palmer is a perfect example. Why did they
He's
let
not better
him
than what they
go?
have. Is he better than what they have?
He will be. He's 20 years old. Cole Palmer is a huge talent.
He's not better than Bernardo Silva. He's not better than Jack Grealish. He's not better than Jeremy Doku.
There's not many players. better
Jack
than
Grealish is
Alisson.
different players. They're different. How can you compare Cole Palmer to Jack Grealish?
You're comparing. You're
Don't show a bit of football acumen here, because otherwise I'm gonna have to worry about whether you're a full-time member of this channel. Yeah, come on. Comparing Palmer to Grealish. Get your head together. No, come on. No, give him sin bin for 2 minutes. Take him out of the studio. Take him out of the studio now for 2 minutes. Take him
I
out.
think of it like this. No, I think of it like this.
I
Why
should
would
have let
want-
him continue to text.
Why would I want to go and get my rivals, like players that they let go and threw in the bin to make our team better? Because we're trying to get to their level. There's a reason why they let them go because they're not good enough. And we're trying to be on the level of Man City. You can say ifs and buts about De Bruyne.
So what did
and
so
Salah.
when Chelsea got rid of Salah, you didn't
That's
think
two
he's going to
examples, Avi. That's two examples.
Kevin De Bruyne,
Where's
Lukaku.
That's two.
Lukaku.
What's Lukaku doing now?
He's 31 now, but look what Lukaku
good,
did
yes,
after
you're
Chelsea let him go originally.
And then
When
they got
Chelsea
him
let him
back
go originally,
and they re-signed him. And what did
and they
he do?
re-signed him back again. Yeah, why did they
What did he do?
re-sign him? Why did
What
they
did he do?
re-sign him? Why did
Because
they re-sign him?
they thought he was good enough. They thought he was
There you
goals.
go. Why did they re-sign him? They saw
And
something
the
back
proof,
again. Oh,
the proof was literally in front of you. The proof was look at Jadon Sancho. Look at Sancho.
Cool,
Look
so
at
are you writing Sancho off now?
I'm not writing Sancho, but you can clearly see why did Man City let him go because he's come to the Premier League for Man United. Oh, he hasn't been given games. He didn't do nothing in his first season.
So when he went to sorry, Gina, hold on now. This kid's gonna get it today from me, idiot. So when Sancho went to Dortmund and he put the numbers up that he did, you didn't want us to sign him, no?
Of course I did. Of course I did. Of course.
There you
But
go.
as I've grown older, and
Move on,
grown wiser,
as in move on.
no, as I grow older and wiser, I start to look at content.
Yeah, but okay, the next
Jadon Sancho, if he plays for an Arsenal, if he plays for a Liverpool, if he has a great spell at Dortmund, which he will, and he comes back and United let him go, say he comes to another Premiership team, he'll absolutely smash it.
What's your boy?
Yadrak,
basing
he'll
it?
smash
What you
it.
basing
He'll
it?
absolutely smash it. If we had Sancho, if we had managed to pull the plug on Sancho at Dortmund, he would have been doing amazing numbers, tremendous numbers. He would have been a 15 and 15.
What context are you providing to prove that? Opinion means nothing.
It's the structure that a youngster goes in as well.
What kind?
Man United is the wrong institution for a young. Look at Rashford. He's had hot and cold spells. One season in, one season hot. One season cold, one season hot. Anthony, you give Jurgen Klopp 6 months with Anthony, he'll start doing serious numbers.
Did you see what Rashford done?
The way your team is planned for Sancho, that was the wrong move because then they brought Ronaldo in as well. How was Oli going to work with Sancho and Ronaldo? Oli, we think Oli can make these players better. No, they can't. And Ten Hag didn't give Sancho a chance from the off.
He's run out of water. He's run out of water in that glass. Let's move on.
By the way, guys, Sarib knows how much I love him. Okay, it's all banter, so it's not a lovely cushion. It's not me schooling him. Me and Sarib, I love him like a little brother, so he knows.
So I think it's time.
Anyone that talks rubbish is gonna get it, and that's what you did today.
This is Sarib and Blue Chip show. Can we tell them? We carry the shows. We carry this channel.
You weren't carrying it yesterday. Let me tell you that, sorry.
No, don't think I forgot. You tried to school me now. Don't forget in August when I sat there and schooled you at FSG. Remember that?
You did. And I put my hands up. You shut me up. Listen, you shut me up. You shut me up.
I don't know who highlighted this, but it's a question that we've been covering for the last couple of weeks, so I don't know how much time you want to spend on it. Lads, is it fair to say Diaz has been off it for the past few weeks? Obviously scored against Arsenal away, but his performance levels haven't been on it. Nunes on the left looks better than Diaz right now.
First of all, can we say happy birthday to Luis Diaz because he was 27 yesterday? So happy birthday to my king, my Lucho Diaz, 27 yesterday.
Are we sure he's 27?
He is 27. Listen, he's playing better. Yeah, he was a bit quiet in the cup game, but listen, he was trying. He was running back, tracking back, providing cover for Joe Gomez. He's back. Luis Diaz is back. Last 3 performances, he's got a goal, assist. Unlucky with the offside, but no, he's playing well again.
That might be.
We can move along. We can move along. That
we move. It might be Jake's burner account. He wants Nunes on the left. But we've covered it, and we'll probably cover it in the sort of coming weeks as well. Keep your questions coming, guys. I'm running out. Here's an interesting one. Neto from Bournemouth, a player that always does well, but he's got dodgy knees, unfortunately.
For Bournemouth, not Wolves, Davla. You're talking about the goalkeeper. Fucking hell. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. I carry the channel. Gina. Oh, you two go. Let me listen. Chippendale on Sunday night. Chippendale on Sunday night. Chippendale on Sunday night.
Hey, that's an easy mistake. That's an easy mistake.
I'm not even going to say anything anymore.
That's an easy mistake.
No, we can move this along. Neto is not good enough. He's been around the block as well as a goalkeeper.
No. Thank God for that. Thank God for that.
Asim, I got a question. I got a question for you. My dost, my dushman, my bra, Ali, Anthony Robinson, the American. We should get Trent's twin brother. What do you think of him? Because he does impress every time we see him. He's got a great engine on him. Defensively good, not great, but defensively good. What do you think of him as a long-term replacement for Robbo and Tsimikas?
No, bluntly, he's an honest player, a very decent player. Like you said, good engine. But is he an upgrade on Robbo? Can he really hit the heights? Look, I'm speaking hypothetically, is my opinion. I don't think he can become world class. Robertson at his peak was world class. And that is such an important, every position in the Jurgen Klopp side is very important, but especially the left back, because yes, in terms of Robinson, he has got the engine, he's got taking on ability as well. He can put a cross in, but I just don't think he has got the overall game.
Can we not develop that? Can we not develop a rough
How
diamond?
old is he, Abby? Is he
I
20?
think 25.
25? Is he not? Sorry.
When we signed Andy Robertson, we signed him from Hull City, a relegation team, right?
Of course.
Did you ever think that Andy Robertson was at one point going to become the best left back in the world? Absolutely not. I don't think
He's
anyone
26. He's 26.
He's
I don't
26.
think anyone.
I think if we're going to take a punt on anyone out of the two, it'll be Ait Nouri, because I think Ait Nouri is technically better. I
Great
think
shout.
he's 3-4 years younger as well. So if we're going to go for someone, I think we Ait Nouri. But these two left backs always seem to do well against us. So, but if you want me to choose one out of the two, I'd go for Thingy. But I can't see us getting rid of Shimikas and bringing Robinson.
I agree with Asim.
Do you understand? I'd rather get someone, if you're going to get rid of Shimikas, then that I want Liverpool to spend 40, 50, 60 million on to take over from Robertson in both ways. This is why I think Theo Hernandez can do both jobs. He can go up and down that flank, but if you want that third centre-back to sit and protect Trent, who's coming into midfield, then he's very, very comfortable on the inside as well. I want that left-sided centre-back to be comfortable in both, situations, and that's why I think it's critical we get it right in the summer.
But it was, back then when we signed Robbo, we were not on top of world football then. So it's easy for we can only go and buy players like that. We couldn't go on and shop at, let's say, the big clubs, because we weren't on top of world football. Now, because we're there, we have to go and get the best sort of
Great
players.
point.
We
Great
can't be
point.
going for players that are mediocre. We have to go for the level above.
Yeah, great point.
But this team is still in transition. This team is still in transition, Sheen. Regardless if we win the title or not, this is not a complete team. There's still going to be players that come in, younger players that are going to help improve and develop in a few years. And we're always going to be that. Liverpool Football Club will unless we have a change of people at the top, we're never going to be a club that pulls the best players, which is why this why we won't sign Hernandez, Alfonso Davies. It's not possible. We can't fees those.
The fees are 60 million. We've gone and spent 60 million on Szoboszlai. We've spent if the player is right, I believe there's certain players that Liverpool would pull the plug on them and go for them. People can say what they want about the Caicedo deal. The money wasn't there. We did try and go and spend that money. Yes, they should do it a lot more. And I'm not going to go into this FSG, out FSG in sort of thing. But there's times when the club will go and spend if it means that we need that player. And right now, if there's a player that's available, let's say somebody like Theo Fernandez at 60 million. I think we'll buy him because he can take, because we can't allow somebody from Robbo standard to drop to, let's say, Robinson, man. For me, you got to go and bring somebody at that sort of level or somebody who's going to kick on.
I think that's a great point. I think the problem for Liverpool is that we can afford the transfer fee, but it's about whatever comes with it. I think look at the
we're one of the big we're the top payers when it comes to wages. We do pay good wages.
Yeah, but that's spread around, Avi.
Even with the incentives and bonuses, Sarib, we're quite at the highest of wages. We're trying to bring that down as a club.
Liverpool broke the structure for one player, Mo Salah. That's the only player we broke the structure in terms of wage. And those players are always between the 150 and 100 and lower kind of mark, 250, whatever Salah's on at the moment. It's never happened. He's the highest paid player in Liverpool's history, and that says enough. He's the best modern day player we've ever had in terms of quality and longevity at the top level with Mo Salah. That's why I think wages, as much as we spread it around, it's not like we offer someone 300, another player 400. It's spread around equally with like 100, 120, 130, which is why it's high. So as much as you say we pay high wages, it's not that we pay high wages, that we pay a lot of players wages which is spread around the team, which equates more in value. We can never go and pay a £500,000 a week for Mbappe. We simply won't break the structure. And you made a point about this, Avi, I think a couple of days ago, that we will turn into Man United, we'll turn into a circus, that if the player doesn't perform, we will be hard to get. The player will just run his contract down, and then future transfer windows will affect us because we won't have the money.
Yeah.
And that's why we can't do. That's why Liverpool Football Club function like this, and I understand it completely. And I know it gets frustrating for us fans that we have to sit here and not get the best players, but we've got one of the best coaches in the world that develops some of the best players we've ever seen play the game. I do trust Klopp, and if this Mbappe deal doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But whoever we bring in is definitely going to get better, and because we have that man in charge, that's it.
Well, Sarib, you mentioned Liverpool are in transition, and you hear a lot of Liverpool fans talk and mention this word. But Sully goes, what is this transition stuff? Because I've had this conversation with him and many other people as well. And he says, look, Liverpool, Van Dijk's not getting any younger. Salah's not getting any younger. Alisson, Robertson, Trent, all have been established players for the last 4, 5, 6 years for Liverpool. And they ripped their midfield up as well this summer. Rice came in, Havertz came in, and so did we. So do you think we use this transition word a bit too much?
Way too much. When you're top of the league right now, at the middle of the season, when you're in 4 competitions, you're not a team in transition. I'm sorry, you're not. I think it's absolutely embarrassing. No, I think it's absolutely embarrassing that we're using that term now. No.
Okay, 1 second. What I think why we use it more is if you look at even the 12 months prior to that, same we had Mane, Firmino gone, all our midfield. It's not just the midfield that we've we've sorted out the midfield.
Newcastle have City have done the same thing.
But what I'm trying to say is we signed Gakpo, Nunes. It was part of a transition, wasn't it? So
June Nunes has been here for 18 months.
Now he has. I'm saying at the start of the thingy. When we signed these players, it's been 18 months now, but at the start of this season, it was all our midfield was ripped up. We signed Gakpo in January. We all know it takes a few months to settle in. And
no, we bought Gakpo not as part of a transition. We bought Gakpo to complement what we've got already as well. You can't just say that we're buying these players because we're transitioning because the old guard is gone. I think transition could be used.
Didn't we buy transition? They bought Jesus.
The word transition can be used at the summer because we got rid of 4 or 5 old guards in midfield and we brought in 4 or 5 younger midfielders. That's called a transition. But if you're going to keep using that game in, game out, 19 games into the season, we're still a team in transition. You can't keep saying you're a team in transition.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is I sort of got that. We are sort of transitioning because we've bought in 4 new midfielders. Darwin's just come in. We're a team that are at top of world football, Asim. So when we're changing our team and our structure, it's going to take a bit of time to get to them sort of levels. Arsenal, with all due respect to them, they were nowhere near. So when they're transitioning, yes, they've got 2 players with their midfield, their transition. We bought in Jesus. He's played in the Prem. We know what he's about. He was at Man City, one of the best, arguably the best club in the world in terms of football.
It's still a new signing for him, though. It's still a new signing for him.
It's a sort of proven signing, though, isn't it?
You don't quantify transition periods in how established or proven the player is.
This is a great comment from Arib. Can't use transition as an excuse as copium in case we mess it up from here. Expectations change throughout the season, and this is the excuse that we will die on. Liverpool fans, not me, but a lot of Liverpool fans will say we didn't win the league because we were 1 short or we're a little bit short because the midfield we're still gelling. We're in transition. You can't use it as an excuse.
No, we're not using. It's not.
I'm not saying you, but other Liverpool fans out there on Twitter, they will use that excuse. They will.
I'll give you an example, and I'll give you an example. Darwin Nunes, everybody knows what I think. I've even come out, and I know people might even come for me for saying this. I've said it before. I genuinely feel the title is going to be on Darwin Nunes' head because I just think it's fine margins. It's fine margins, and you know what? If he bangs, we win the title. I'm not going to sit here and saying, at the end of the season, we lose the title. That we were going through a transition. Of course not. We're sat top of the table, 2 points clear. We're playing well. Our players are coming back, and we're probably ahead of the curve, let's say, in terms of where I thought we would be personally at the start of the season. So you can't, when nobody's using this as an excuse. We're top of the table. If we go and let's say lose the title by a point, okay, fair play, it happened. These things happen. But we are good enough to go and win this title. That's why I've gone to town on Darwin because the biggest thing for me is it's fine margins and we cannot rely on players missing easy chances because that just doesn't give it if you're going up against a team like Man City.
And these what I was and you've made some great points, Gene. And yes, it might just rely on Nunes. But we've already spoken of what we think of Nunes. But come back to Bob Podak. They've lost Zinchenko, Jesus, Mahrez, Sterling, Gundogan in the space of 2 years. 5 big players who brought titles, experience, that winning mentality. They got rid of all those 5.
Then
And they brought
wouldn't
new
have
players in Alvarez, Haaland, who haven't been there at the top, apart from Alvarez in the World Cup now.
Haaland
But
is a
John Stone,
bought the best striker in the world. I mean,
Gvardiol.
Guardiola. There's a level. Avi, there's levels of behind the player, man.
But that's a transition too. Then
Yeah, but okay, I get it. But what I'm trying to say is, when you're
Gvardiol wasn't prem proven, was he? Haaland wasn't prem proven. Alvarez wasn't prem proven. No, but these are facts. Doku isn't prem proven. Doku's still isn't the finished article.
Gene, what Avi is saying is, why are you sort of considering the amount of money that City is spending on in terms of judging what a team is in terms of, are they in a transition period? If Liverpool are spending 50 million and City are spending 100 million, they're both still in transition, aren't they?
What I was trying to say is, look, Asim, Liverpool are slightly different. We haven't been buying 2 world-class players every year. We don't do that. We haven't done that. Man City have been going around every year. We're at the top. They buy 1 or 2 players. So yes, they got rid of, I'm not going to say they got rid of 2 world-class players for them, Gundogan and Mahrez. I can accept that. They're 2 huge players for them. And Sterling went a year before that, but they already had replacements, Avi. Grealish was bought in to play in that position, and they spent 100 million in it. And that was a year before that, maybe, I don't know if it was a year, 1 year before that, a year before that, yeah? So he's been there now 2 years. So, this is what, I get it, but from a Liverpool perspective, I think we don't go and do that. So we have got rid of 4 midfielders, brand new 4 midfielders. Arsenal signed who did they sign? Two midfielders, Havertz and Rice, yeah? That's 2. We got rid of 4. There's a difference. We practically ripped up our midfield. Whereas they, and to be fair to them, look, they signed Declan Rice, we knew Declan Rice was going to become the perfect player for Arsenal because that's what he needed. The Havertz one, with all due respect to Salah, was just plain stupid. So you can't come up to me and say that.
You can't say that. We knew McAllister going to be a brilliant player for Liverpool.
But then, Kai Havertz, I think they needed a striker. They didn't need a Kai Havertz player to go and spend 70 million on Kai Havertz. Because I never thought did you think Kai Havertz is going to bang for Arsenal? I didn't.
But Gene, that's got nothing to do with if Arsenal are in a transition period. That's just a bad signing.
So then how can they come to me and say they did it to their midfield? They bought in 1 player then?
No, because they got rid of Xhaka. And who else did they bought?
They didn't sell anyone for this. They just added to Thomas Partey is injured. That's what it is. Thomas Partey is
injured.
And Kai Havertz is the only
other but in the starting midfield, they've got Rice, Havertz, and Odegaard, haven't they? So there's 2 out of 3.
Yeah, but I think if everyone was available, Rice, Partey, and
but we got rid of every single one of our midfielders.
Yeah,
there's not a midfielder that probably stayed.
Yeah, I get both sides. I think what it makes it worse for Liverpool is like, it was always going to happen because we were so loyal to the likes of Keita, Ox, Fabinho, Hendo. It took 1 summer to clear all the dead wood out, and that's why it made the transition period a bit more magnified. And that's what I think what it was. If you really realistically look, probably another discussion altogether, but I think Fabinho was probably the only player that we probably didn't expect to be Liverpool, away from Liverpool this season. Endo, Ox, who else left? Milner. I think they all were expecting to go. Well, most of them ran out of contracts anyway, so I think Fabinho was the one. But you don't reject.
If there's anyone looking for, I say 1 second. If there's anyone looking for an excuse, it's Arsenal fans, because if they're using transition, that's the excuse. Not Liverpool. We are looking for an excuse, so that's you lot, because you've gone and if you bottled the league last season, spent 300 million this summer, and you're bottling it if you don't win the title this season.
People don't understand. We tried to replace our midfield after the quadruple season. We tried to go into the summer and sign new midfield players. Like, as much as Jurgen Klopp came out and said, "Oh, we've got every midfield available," we were looking at Tchouaméni, we were looking at Jude Bellingham, we were looking at Ryan Gravenberch. We were trying to sign these players. We didn't get anything done. So Klopp just kept with what he knew would work. And clearly that didn't work. And that's why he had to ship them out all at once. As much as their contracts ran down, Klopp quickly realized that, okay, I've been loyal to these players, but they can't do it anymore. And I think he needed that reality check, because I think if we challenged for the title last season, most of those players that were in that team would have been offered new deals. Jordan Henderson will still be here. Fabinho would still be here. And that's completely on Jurgen Klopp, because we know he's he sticks to his team, he sticks to his guns. Even at Borussia Dortmund, he didn't really change much in the team. He sold a few players there, but the majority remained the same. Blaszczykowski, Royce, Aubameyang came in, Lewandowski went out. He always kind of kept the same kind of balance with Weidenfeller, Hummels, Socrates. It was very, very similar. It all changed after he left. Same thing has happened with Jurgen Klopp, but this time he's realized what he's done wrong, which is why we made those signings in the summer. But he realized it last summer too. He just needed that reality check of last season. I think we needed it too, especially the top reds.
There's plenty of questions regarding Kamara from Villa.
Boubacar Kamara, get him in, get him in, get him. Should have got him from Marseille, to be honest, on a free transfer. I don't know what we were fucking doing. He's a complete footballer. He reminds me of Moussa Dembele, the original Moussa Dembele of Spurs. Just the way he carries the ball, he's so.
But do you think
fluency in his game? Fluency in his game.
Avi, do you think he's the carrier? Because
I don't think he's the carrier. Asim.
Douglas Luiz is more of the carrier at Villa, but this boy is a carrier of the ball. The roles that they're being played is polar opposites, because Luiz last season was a sitting six, but he's put up numbers this season as well. He's gone more forward this season. He's been more of the fluent sort of progressive player. But Boubacar Kamara has absolutely everything to his game.
How old is he, Avi?
24, I believe.
24.
He was available on a free transfer. People talk about we should get Michael Olise. We had first dibs on Olise at Reading. Boubacar Kamara was available on a free transfer. It's how smart you want to be in the market, and he's been an absolute snip for them. Absolute snip.
Gene, how many people have we got in the building? Over 130. How many likes are we on? Tell me, Gene. Go on your YouTube app. Tell me, because it's a given we should have 137 likes, because there's 137 people in the building. All it takes, guys, is to grab your mouse or go on hover over your cursor, and then just please smash a like. That's all it takes. It means the world to us. You know how it works, all the algorithms and everything.
Like
you can stay in touch with all our content going forward. You'll appear.
You can put a thumbs down as well if you like as well. No problem. Thumbs up, thumbs down, up to you.
But please smash a like, because if you do get the likes up, Abby will call me later and saying you only got all the likes because I was on the show. So please give him a big head tonight.
Listen, 4 or 5 shows on the trot. Come on, we're spoiling you guys here. We're spoiling you, okay? And listen, this is going to be the narrative now going forward. We will be producing 4 or 5 shows a week as well for you guys.
100%. Here's one. I want Gerard Bowen in the summer. Who's going to go first on this one? I'll go. Bowen's a brilliant finisher. Every time I see him at Anfield, I've never seen him away from home, but every time I see him, he impresses me. A big ass, strong, really good legs on him, and
didn't know that was your kind of thing. Asim, I thought you were a married man. But anyway, carry on.
But these things are important on the football field, Avi. But
someone's asked.
Look, if you can
it's
shield
the way
the ball,
it's the way he shields the ball.
Saka,
of course,
Saka's got a big ass. He can shield, and I think.
What is this conversation, man?
But yeah, these things are important. Shoulders, how they shield the ball. But he's been playing this striker role since Antonio's been out, hasn't he? And what a finish! He scored a brilliant goal against us as well in the Carabao Cup tie. And I've always liked him, but if I'm honest, I don't think he's Liverpool class in terms of the replacement for Salah. If I wanted someone to be as a backup for Salah, then yes. If I want him to come in now, I think it's too late now. Is he 27, 28?
It's going to be 28, I think. 28.
Yeah. So if I'm honest, yes, brilliant player, 27, still at West Ham. Why hasn't someone, out of the top 6 sides taken a punt? I don't know. But yeah, he's a good player. He probably fits our system. He's a Klopp favourite. He talks about him a lot. But I think that ship has sailed now.
What about Kudus?
I love Kudus.
Because he was the one I wanted at the start of before this season as the Salah replacement.
I love Kudus because I think Kudus can play across the line, the front line. He can play the Harvey Elliott role. He can play the Curtis role, not Curtis role, but on the other side, on the left-hand side. He can play in 4 or 5 positions. Mohamed Kudus is a brilliant player.
He's a multiplex player. He's a baller. Listen, that goal against us in the Champions League for Ajax,
Yeah.
and then he had a good World Cup on top of that. Comes to West Ham, took about a month or two to get his feet going, but he's a brilliant player. He's got a nice celebration as well. I think the Bowen cycle has sort of passed. Look, he's a very good player. Asks the question of his fullbacks all the time, but
Avi,
at
how much is
27, 28
how much
again,
is it
yeah.
gonna cost now?
And they get
West Ham get good money. They got 100. They've got 100 million for Declan Rice again. 70 million. Would we go out and spend 70 million on a 28-year-old potentially? No, not for me. Not for me.
another one. Look, there's loads of comments on Baba Yoko.
Yep.
Bakayoko, yeah.
Baba
For
Yoko.
PSV.
They're mentioning him, and I think, to be fair, he probably works. If you look at Liverpool's the way we are, bring him in now. If you can get him for a decent sort of fee, get him playing for in a year or two, embed him in, and hopefully he's the one. But again, Asim, is he Liverpool quality?
I think he's got a lot more development. I did a bit of research on Bakayoko. What sticks out for Bakayoko is his carries and his dribbles. He's not a great shooter. A few compilations I saw, because of his shooting stats are down because he takes a lot of long shots. So obviously he's going to be down on them. But what sticks out is ball carries. And if you're going to be a Salah replacement, I checked out Salah's sort of stats when he came from Roma, and his dribbles were really high. Now Salah's dribbles are quite low. It's because he's the ultimate output player in terms of assists and goals. But he is raw. Bakayoko is raw. I checked him out against Arsenal. A few Arsenal fans have been telling me that he had a decent game against them, home and away. But he's really raw. Do we bring someone really raw? If we're going to bring someone like Bakayoko now, we need to do it in January or in summer. Realistically, summer. Because I want them to be under and learning of Salah for about a year or two. Because we can't expect Bakayoko to come straight away and carry the burden of Salah's output. It's just unfair, and it's not going to happen.
There's one player that I want in the summer. I think we've got to go out on a limb and just go out and get him. Is Nico Williams of Atletico Bilbao. He's the player that I want. Left or right, can play either on either wing. I think he's a phenomenal talent. Phenomenal talent at 20 years old. He's the one that we want.
What are we talking that wise, mate?
60, 70, 60, 70. 60, 70. And they'll want top. Like, he is a Basque region boy, so it's very hard to persuade the player away from that region of Spain. But he's the one that I want. Nico Williams is the one that I want.
Avi, does he have enough goals in him?
He's 20 years old, Asim. He'll develop that. I mean, Salah, Salah didn't have the goals in him. Even though Salah wasn't too bad at Basel, 10 goals a season. Then he goes to Chelsea.
One guy goes, Nico Williams, we had him already.
Sorry?
Because I knew someone was going to bring that up. Nico Williams, you already got him already. He's talking about the Nico. But no, Nico Williams for me. I mean, Pedro Neto, honestly, I would have loved him if it wasn't for the knees. If it wasn't for the knees. Kubo's a great talent at Sociedad, another Japanese youngster. Brilliant player. Was at Real Madrid. He's doing serious numbers as well. But Nico Williams for me.
What about Elise from Crystal Palace?
No. There's something that, I don't know. I think he's a talented kid. Don't get me wrong, Sarib, but not as a Salah replacement. No, I don't know.
He's 21, 22 years old. He's got a very high ceiling. He's Premier League quality, and we've seen how much quality he does have. Set pieces really good. Don't you remember that freak against Man United last season? It was really, really good. It's just that he's got that aura. They just can make nothing out of something. Like, he could just do something out of the ordinary. He's got that type of vibe about him. Like, he's just arrogant. He's really good. He can drive past players. I think he's that good. And I don't think it'll cost a lot of money, because I think he's got a release clause in his contract, if I'm not mistaken. I think like 45 million that is active this summer, next summer. I think it's a no-brainer. Elise, look, there's a comment about Elise here. I would like Elise only if he gets his fitness. I think that's the problem.
There's a few injuries,
Yeah. But I don't know.
You know what, Mohamed Kibri, I know I was going to ask this to the panel, because I know he's not getting that much game time, but I was going to say Rafinha from Barca, 27 years old, probably can do a cut price deal for 30, 35. I think he's a serious player. I think he's the one who can create anything out of nothing. He's Leeds' best player as well, kept him up single-handedly.
He's comfortable on both flanks as well.
Yeah. For me, like, I wouldn't mind him if he came in.
I really liked him at Leeds and at that time, because he was one that I really, really wanted. I think there was at that time people were going about him and that Newcastle winger. I forgot his name now.
Almiron.
No, the other one on the other side. The people were talking about the wingers in the Premier League, and he What was that
Or
guy?
Sam Maximan.
Maximan, because they were all in form at that time, and he was the one that I really wanted us to go and buy. But I don't know. He's still he's done well. He gets into the Brazil squad, but he's not even in the Barcelona starting lineup now. Or
They've got Lamine Yamal in front of him.
obviously he's a generation. Well, he seems like he's a bit of a generational talent. But if he's a cut price 30-40 million, of course you take him, especially at 27. He's worth the money.
Kvara, Asim.
Sorry,
Kvara, Cavilla.
He's more of a left.
someone said he's a one-season wonder. Look, I'm gonna.
No, he's come back this season well. No,
Has he
that's
come
wrong.
back? Yeah, has he
Yeah,
come back?
he has,
I don't see.
He
I
went
don't see-
15, 16 games without a goal. And so that's because look, people had found out, how to play him, number up on him, and that happens. But this season, he's back to his best.
Yeah, but I don't think he's a right winger though. I think
He's not a right winger.
he's a right footer, but
More on the left, yeah.
yeah. But I think how do Klopp see it? Do they even bring another Salah type of player, or do they have sort of aspirations of changing system again? Do they go two up top with four wingers, four across the midfield, Szoboszlai on the right? These are all questions that are going to be waiting to answer. Who wants that job to take over Mo Salah? Bloody hell, it's a dreaded job, isn't it?
Some pressure.
Massive pressure, and so that's why I want someone like Bakayoko to come, a couple of I'll be the long-term option. But it'll be interesting to see which way we go. Liao is another one. It's a great shout by Eddie.
Another left winger.
But he blows too hot and cold as well for me. He's got everything. He can become anything he wants to, but again,
I have a shout.
Yeah.
If
Go on,
Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, would you take Rodrigo?
yeah. We wanted Rodrigo when he was at Santos at 15, 16.
Yeah, Rodrigo.
Massive talent.
I think that's a shout. I think that could become realistic only if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, because they're gonna have to ship Vinny or Rodrigo out, and I think more likely to ship out would be Rodrigo. I think.
But Sarib, how do we keep 6 attackers happy?
No, that's if Mo Salah goes.
But if Mo Salah goes, okay.
Mo Salah goes. If
But
Mo Salah
but who do we bring? This is why I think we'll bring
now.
a long-term project this summer, because I don't think we're going to bring someone like Rodrigo or Kvaratskhelia, and we're going to juggle with 6 attackers. It's not going to happen.
I don't think
That's my question to you. Because if you're going to bring someone big, then someone has to leave. If you have to make the choice right now, give me one name out of the top 5. We don't want Salah to leave, or do you want that sort of question to remain open?
No, if
there was one out of the top,
Salah,
five,
there's a possibility, because somebody can turn on and say, I want 100 million for him in the summer.
All right, okay. What would you do in terms, hypothetically speaking, in terms of our attacking 5?
This is not. Are we putting Salah's contract?
Yeah, Salah's gone, man. You're not understanding English. He's not talking Urdu now with you. He's saying if Salah goes, that's it. Pick the 5.
He's not saying that, everyone. He's saying if you could get rid of one of the attackers, that includes Salah. You can say Salah's off. That's what he's saying.
Salah, hypothetically speaking, Salah.
I'll take it first. I'll take it
Okay,
first.
go
Yeah.
on.
Look, I'll be honest with you. If it meant getting Mbappe, I'd drive Diaz to the airport myself.
But that's unrealistic, though, Archie.
Why?
We don't mind Mbappe. Police job.
Why not,
I'll say
man?
this. If Salah was to go and we can only bring one in, for me, it's Nico Williams.
Nico Williams for Mohamed Salah
If
replacement.
Salah leaves, I'll bring Williams in for 60 million.
The state of this fan base, man.
All
Are
right.
you serious, Avi? I hope you're
Very
joking.
serious. No,
That's
I'm
why
very
He's not
serious.
joking. He's not joking.
I'm very serious.
He's not joking.
Mbappe is not going to happen to Liverpool. So you're looking at what? What are you looking at then? You're looking at wingers out there who are doing it right now, or you're looking at a young project. For me, Nico Williams.
There's players in the league better than him.
Who?
Kudos, Elise, those are already 2 I'd have ahead of Nico.
They're not
Williams.
Salah replacements.
Of course they are. They're left with.
They won't do what Nico Williams can do at Liverpool.
Kudos.
You want 20 goals a season? Nico Williams will do that for you.
Kudos
Mohamed Kudos will get you 20 goals in the Premier League from right wing.
for Liverpool.
No debate. But come to me back next season.
Sure, he won't.
A lot of shouts for Bowen, man.
And when we lose out to Man City, when Bernardo Silva leaves in the summer, you're not gonna like it. I'm telling you, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it when you're scoring 20 goals for City.
Nico Williams, I'd take you. You wouldn't take Kudos over Nico Williams.
I don't think the guy's ceiling is frightening for me, Gina.
Avi,
And I've been saying his name. I've been saying his name for a couple of years now. That this kid he's going to be the real deal. He's going to be the real deal.
In the Prem, man. He's already within being 4 or 5 months in the Prem. Kudus has already proved that, you know what, he's going to be good.
He's not proved, he's had a good 3-4 month spell. He's not proved anything yet, Gene. Wait till the end of the season. We're already saying Kudus, get Kudus in.
Nico Williams doing, what's he going?
Kudus is not a Salah replacement, bruh. He's not.
Nico Williams
We want Mohamed.
Nico Williams is. He's more dynamic. He's more dynamic.
I mean, we want Mohamed to replace Mohamed.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you know what? I like that one. Yeah.
AK scores, smash the likes. There's over 160 people in the building. Please smash a like and all that good stuff. Get involved in the chat. Are we wrapping up in the next 5-10 minutes? I don't know. How does the boss feel?
Yeah, let's wrap up in 5.
Okay, TK.
5-10, man. Let it go. He's not the boss. He hear me, boss, legs.
This is a name. This is
Gine, didn't you want Diaby last season?
Diaby.
You know what? I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. He was one that I did want us to go and get. But you know what? The thing is, he's not starting for Villa, I don't think, anymore.
Because Leon Bailey.
Tell you why he's not starting.
Bailey's up his game.
I tell you why he's not starting, because he started, obviously, Emery plays 4-4-2, and he's that kind of guy who likes to be as a second striker on the inside, and on out wide, he wasn't that guy. One of the reasons why Watkins is getting a lot of goals is because he's playing between the posts, and Diaby is a lot closer to him. But recently, especially in the big games, he's gone someone like Tielemans in that role, so he can be a bit of an extra midfielder off the ball, especially against the big sides. And then Bailey, who can provide the energy on the wing. And to be fair to Bailey, he's been playing absolutely brilliant because he's been.
How's in terms of Watkins scoring? Then has that dropped over the last, let's say 7 to 8 games when this has happened?
No, I think Watkins has still been banging in the goals, not probably as many as what he was earlier doing, but Bailey has taken that burden on as well. He's been chipping in quite a bit.
Everton today.
I don't look at. See, I think looking at players' goals is a very vague way to look at it. I think
Watkins always scoring goals as though Asim. He's been always scoring goals.
Not last season, not as many as this season.
Oh yeah, last season he still scored a good amount,
but not as many as this season, man.
He's already up there this season.
Not as many as this season, Avi. He's been that Sky Sports interview. He said, "Look, I'm staying between the sticks a lot more. It's a manager's instruction because he was running the channels a lot more last season."
Yeah.
And he's not as doing it. He's still doing it a bit, depending on the situation. But let's go to a few super chats. I saw, I think, from Rav. Did anyone highlight that?
Yeah.
it usually should be on the start anyway.
Rav says, spoiling us, brothers. Hard work is paying off. Great insight and banter. Isaac would be a good in the 9. Imagine Prime Suarez for Klopp. Easy win the league. There's a few questions in there from our brother Rav. Thank you very much for the super chat, bro. Gene, do you want to take this? He mentioned Isaac.
We spoke about this on Friday as well.
Okay, quickly then.
You gone, Gene?
Fair to him. Look, even yesterday, you know, he took his goal really well. I know he missed a couple of chances, and I was a bit peed off with him because he could have gone 3-1 up. But I really like him. I think he's a proper finisher. He's got decent numbers. 9 goals. Is it 9 in 12 starts this season? And I thought we had a bit of a banter thing going on our BNR group as well, where we were talking about would you take him over Nunes and stuff. Look, they're both done really, really well. Darwin Nunes is the way he plays, suits our system a lot better. So most of us will always say Darwin Nunes. Isaac can finish. He's got more to his game than just finishing. He's strong on the ball, fantastic, like in terms of dribbling wise as well. And he's a classy player. And he'll do really, really well. Do I want him in the 9 right now? Probably not. But I do like him a lot. In terms of Suarez, man, I think there's nothing to say about that, man. He walks into this side and we walk everything because he was just a phenomenal footballer. Probably the best one of the best players I've seen in Liverpool shirt. Technically probably the best. And if it wasn't for Mo Salah, what he did over the last few years, he was probably the best player I've seen in a Liverpool shirt. Technically, he was definitely up there, man, and he was a joy to watch when he was here, but he fucked off, so fuck him. Anyway, move on.
We won.
Last few questions before we wrap up, guys.
You got another super chat. Selection came in.
Selection.
Big up Selection, by the way.
Big up Selection, man.
Yeah.
He's always in our chat and being very kind with his wallet as well. Big up to you, bro. I like your shout. Avi Williams reminds me of a Dembele Barca. Not sure if Kudus is the right winger, to be honest, and Olise more of a creator type than a scoring type.
Michael Elise, if we played with a 10, like a 4-2-3-1, Sarib, elite. Just not off the wing.
But I think, you know, being an inside forward, you can coach that. And I think that's why I'd give Luis Diaz time at Liverpool, because he was a pure winger when he came to Liverpool, taking guys on the outside, coming in, but not scoring as many goals as what Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane was the same. When he first came to Liverpool, I never saw him as an inside forward. Same with Mo Salah. I thought these will be wingers for Liverpool, like put kind of crosses into the box and we'll get a centre forward in. But Klopp's dynamic completely changed that. And I think he can do something similar to Elise. He's 21 years old. He can be coached into becoming an inside forward. What age did Mohamed Salah come to Liverpool? 24, 25, wherever it was, 24. And then he's turned into be one of the best inside forwards I've ever seen. Same with Sadio Mane. To say that Elise can't go and do that is such an exaggeration.
He's a comment of the day. Comment of the day. Big up Arif. Arif, I was a big fan of Triple X Tentacion, however you say his name, man. That's brilliant. How we got Avian selection now. We're trying to play Salah. Look like Triple X Tentacion. How do you say his name? He was that rapper.
Tentacion, I think.
Tentacion. Oh, brilliant. Nico. Now, Nico Williams for me is good. I want to ask you a question, Asim, and then I'll go around the table, and I'm not going to answer it. It's not my question. So, I'm going to ask the question to you guys.
Bro, I'm going to ask you the question.
No, it's my question. It's my question, and I'm not going to answer it, but I'm going to put you three on the spot. Asim, a prime Steven Gerrard or a prime Kevin De Bruyne?
A prime Stevie. Why? I think Stevie can play. He's a more complete footballer. He can play in a lot more positions. Right back, right-sided midfielder, left-sided midfielder. And Stevie played all these positions. Number 10 with Torres, back to goal. I know KDB has started playing that role as well last season, a lot closer to Haaland. But I think technically gifted, you'd have to say KDB. I think a lot more comfortable with his touch. KDB is technically more gifted. But if I had to choose one, a guy for the big day, and I want if my house is on the line, I'd go choose Stevie G every single day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Gina?
I mean, look, I'll be honest. You know, in the positions that they're playing right now, Steven Gerrard, when he played that year, when he played behind Torres, he was arguably the best player in the world. And just imagine we had two wingers. You know, the level, you know, let's say as the Torres level, he had a Riera, you know, he had the likes of Benayoun, with all due respect, Gonzalez, you know, in that, I'm talking about that year, Ryan Babel. Just imagine he had the wingers that, you know, Kevin De Bruyne has got. This guy would have taken it to a different level. That is how good. He made Torres look like the best striker in world football. That's Steven Gerrard. That's what he made it. That's how good he was. And I personally look Steven Gerrard every day for me, and it's not even a question because he was that.
You know, up until Gene, about 2-3 years ago, there was a question mark for KDB in the big games.
There was, and even now he's missed 2 Champions League finals because of injury.
Yeah, but look, unbelievable. Sarib,
were you born for Steven Gerrard, or were you a little bit after that? Lucas Leiva, maybe.
Yes, I was born then, man. Of course, I was born then. But obviously, I didn't get to watch the prime days of Gerrard like you three were able to witness that kind of that great, you know, Istanbul final. I wasn't at that stage where I was watching football at that time. 2009 Gerrard as well was really, really good. I heard a lot of good things about him, but I didn't really get to see his prime. And I always hear stories about Gerrard. I've watched back whole Liverpool matches, and he was really, really good. I remember that I watched the Europa League Napoli game back, which scored a hat trick. Really, really good in that game.
Under Roy Hodgson, yeah.
Really, really good. I watched that game back quite a few times. Really, he was exceptional. And stuff like that just makes me really think like what a talent, what a talent England had, what a talent Liverpool had. But it's just that as much as Liverpool were never that team to go and win the league, that is a big factor. I think if we're talking about longevity, stats, goals, assists, trophies won, accolades, what he's done in the Premier League from where he came from to what he is now, I don't think you can look past Kevin De Bruyne out of any midfielder in the Premier League history. I think he's the best, and he's proven it. He's got 5 Premier League titles, a Champions League, numerous FA Cups.
We're not talking accolades here.
Yeah, but the player's quality equates to that.
I totally get where Sarib's coming from here. I do get what you understand. Like accolades, trophies won. You got to remember, bear in mind what City have got that kind of money.
But when you come up with any sort of discussion, then how many times have you discussed Lampard, Scholes, and Gerrard? So are you going to choose Scholes every time because of his accolades? Then
it's not just that though. It's a collective.
We're talking about in terms of just footballing ability.
Footballing ability, then it's Kevin De Bruyne.
Listen, okay, listen. For the people, Sarib is very similar to my
That is a
nephew.
bullshit comment. It's
Sarib is very similar in age to my nephew, and my nephew, I've shown him. He's watched Istanbul with me
He's
all
11.
throughout. He's watched the FA Cup final. He's watched all the games back in the day, all the Gerrard sort of during the Champions League, during the Torres era, even when he was a quarterback, kind of role under Rodgers. And he is a diehard Liverpool fan. I'm talking about my nephew, right? But he says that to this day, he says Kevin De Bruyne. What Kevin De Bruyne can put on a sixpence, he goes Kevin De Bruyne for me. And even though he's watched Gerrard like religiously, he still thinks KDB.
But would you guys agree what I said about KDB technically?
He is. I agree with that.
I think he's better than Stevie technically.
I don't think KDB can have a Gerrard FA Cup final or a Gerrard final in a Champions League. I don't think Gerrard, Scholes, or Lampard could ever dictate a game. Even though Scholes was like an orchestra in that whole. I don't think they could run a game like Steven Gerrard did. Hence, for me, Steven Gerrard is the best midfielder.
Here's another one. Do you think Rafa didn't trust Gerrard? Because he played
and he was right. He was right. Gerrard was running. He was right when he said he runs too much. Under Torres, that was his best years.
You didn't see
in
that
whole
Guardiola. Guardiola doesn't trust KDB a lot.
And Asim, you remember we spoke about this, that we're going to see De Bruyne now implemented in that little quarterback role now. He will be in that six now because of the legs, because of the hammies. He will be there. If he can destroy teams like he did yesterday, the way he played that ball for Oscar Bob and the way he finishes, if he can just stay in that hole, he'll do more damage than he's done previously.
Do you see stuff like this when people say KDB playing with £1 billion team, everything becomes easier? You can clearly see with your eyes. If you watch Manchester City play, this has nothing to do with the guy's team. The guy has pure ability. You can't say him scoring from 30 yards is based on the £1 billion team he's playing in, or him getting 20 assists with his left foot and his right foot. Yeah, cool. They've got a finisher like Haaland.
Is he the reason that we're going in the Champions League?
He done it for Wolfsburg that year as well.
Is he the reason they're going to win the Champions League? Because Gerrard was the only reason we won 2005 Champions League. Kevin De Bruyne could never do that. Ever. He can try a million times. He would have fucking come
Gine, when he scored at the Bernabeu last season, for the 1-1.
He scored a good goal.
The European champion.
2-1 though, to make it 2-1, going back to City.
He plays well. Steven Gerrard did the unthinkable. He really did the unthinkable. Olympiacos were about to go home. He did that goal. It was unthinkable. He took us to the
we know the names, son. We know the names.
I think you're getting mixed up. Moments, historical moments. Gerrard has so many more than him. So many more. But you also need to take into account the team you're playing.
Sarib, historical moments are a big thing. You have to have the cojones to provide that.
Absolutely, I'm not denying Gerrard's got big balls. That's not why. That's not the conversation. We know
big asses and big balls. The team is short tonight.
Moments. I'm gonna tell you, you're a quality player.
Wife's watching.
In a team that's if you're a quality player in a team that's not performing, you're obviously going to look a lot better if you're a player of quality. If you're the best player in that team and the team's at a very low level, but you're still performing, you're going to look a million times better than if you're playing that.
I'll end it. Gina, let me.
You have to. It's not the other team. He literally carried our team.
Gina, I'll end it with this. I'll end this discussion.
This is going to carry on back.
Look, yeah, because we've got to wrap up now. Yeah, come on, please. These lot have to go sleep. I still have to read a bedtime story to Sarib tonight. Listen, guys, I'll leave it with this. Yeah, great players like the Zidanes, the Gerrards, the De Bruynes, the Scholes, Lampards. Look, Pirlo's, whatnot. You need to have great moments. Sarib, Asim, Chin, and you guys all know this as well. I'm not just telling you something new. Gerrard has had amazing moments. De Bruyne hasn't had as many influential moments where, wow, we will remember De Bruyne for that. We will remember De Bruyne for that. There's 4 or 5 games, even opposition fans or enemy lines will know that Gerrard has carried us 4 or 5 times and they can single-handedly pinpoint which game. De Bruyne, yet for me, only 1 or 2. That Real Madrid comes to mind last season. That 2-2 when he scored at Anfield, the deflection of Matip comes to mind. That's it really for me.
Avi, one
But I'm
second
sure
before
he's
you go. Avi, 1 second before you go. Sarib, you mentioned but De Bruyne against Real Madrid, didn't you? Just please go back and watch live
I've
Gerrard.
seen the game. I watched that game, the 4-0.
1 second.
I've seen it.
Gerrard versus Real Madrid.
I've seen it.
Come back to me.
Of course,
Tell
I've
me
watched,
who
I watched
you
that game
mentioned
numerous times.
De Bruyne's
I've seen
moment
it.
against
I've seen
Real
it.
Madrid. Check out Gerrard's and come back to me.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it, Gene. You're not understanding what I'm trying to say to you.
Different level,
Somebody,
bro.
somebody says Gerrard over KDB. That's big. That's big for me.
I don't think
That's coming
so.
from an Arsenal fan.
That's an Arsenal fan.
Patrick Vieira over Gerrard, Silman. Just for today. Just
Well, I
for
think
today.
they're
Because
different players,
he said
Avi.
no, he said Gerrard over KDB. I'm just saying for today and to keep him happy. We want Arsenal fans in the chat. But guys, Sarib is first. He got angry that we killed Saliba in his
No,
game.
I'm just not biased like these three. I'm not
Game
biased.
CVG,
Not everything
bro,
gotta be
Rodrigo,
You mentioned the big game. We gave you the big game
Okay.
answer. Somewhere else.
Okay. Oh, listen. We have to calm because look, Gina is no longer a young dog. Yeah, he needs to calm down for his blood pressure tablet. What is it these days that you carry with you, Gina? What are the blood pressure tablets? It's not minoxidil,
Yeah,
is it?
you're my pretty issue. You're the pretty issue. You're the one that gives me pretty good pressure. Man, with the mark, what is you bringing me? Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, guys, this has been a great Born and Red. I actually didn't think we would go over an hour today, but
I
great
know.
discussion. Asim, that was a genius idea. This was far better than your attempted call-in show last night, which was a slog. This has not been a slog. This has been an hour of 30 of pure entertainment. Great discussions. Started learning every day, each and every moment. Sarib Saviors, great banter today. There is one important thing that I want to talk about, guys. All jokes aside, Sven Goran Eriksson. It was in the news this week that he has got terminal cancer, and they asked him a question on Sky News, like, what was your favorite football club? And he said, I regret sort of not managing Liverpool. And there is a big sort of push now. And I believe Robbie Fowler has sort of said the club's in contact now about managing, about having Sven Goran Eriksson manage the Legends game in March. So guys who are in Liverpool, who are in and around London or wherever you are back home, if you guys can go to that game, that would be great. That would be some ovation for Sven Goran Eriksson.
Have they confirmed it now?
Not confirmed, but I think there will be a confirmation because Robbie Fowler, and that's just going off by Robbie Fowler, what he said, that the club have been informed, so whatnot. So please, guys, just make sure that there's a big push, and anyone that, if it does get confirmed, that I hope so, let's please make sure that if you can go, please go and support Sven Goran Eriksson, because for me, he did give me some great memories as England manager when I supported him. So yeah, and then obviously everything that's going around the world, please prayers and thoughts and peace. Let's just hope all these atrocities around the world stop, and that's all we hope for. I think I'm free tomorrow, so we may do a show tomorrow. I'm free tomorrow.
There's about 20 questions still starred, so we can go through them.
Chippendale will be back on Friday, I believe. I think it'll be a quiet week, so I think we should do. So let's see what we can do tomorrow. If we can do like a best Liverpool 11, that would be interesting to see all four. Maybe we'll do timelines between this period and that period. Okay. Friday, definitely. Gina and me will back for the transfer show. Moby is expected to be back as well, so we'll see if there's any exclusives or any, hopefully, some concrete news regarding any club that comes into fruition. And that's it, really. Boys, like and subscribe. Close to 7K now, so guys, give us that support. We need that little bit of push, and then onwards and upwards to 10K. But if that's all from everyone, over and out. See you tomorrow, hopefully.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.